Hello and welcome to episode 292. Right then guys, for this video I'm back down on my local syndicate Aspen Lake. It's a bit of a privilege session, this one. I'll go into that a bit more later on because I need to get fishing first. But yeah, just arrived. Might look like the rods are out, but they're not. They're just sitting on the pod at the moment. So it's almost 2 o'clock and yeah, we're not fishing yet basically. So anyway, so I need to crack on, get the rods out. I'm just going to chuck on some PVA bags just to get fishing quickly, guys. And then we'll sort out what I'm going to do probably later on in the session. I'm here for 3 nights, so fingers crossed something will happen. Yeah, let's just get on with it. Let's go fishing. Right guys, so we are slowly getting there. So the rods are all clipped up. I have got my bait boat which I might use this session, but just to get fishing I'm going to cast the rods out. So what will be the right hand rod? There's a little post on the far margin I'm going to cast to. I say going to cast to. I've already done a bit of marker up work with just the lead on one of the rods to find where I want to fish to. And I found a nice spot up against the post on the island. What was it? 13 wraps and 8 foot to you know, just a couple of foot short of the island. This part of the lake is a lot deeper, so it drops off a lot quicker, so you can go a bit tighter to the island where I'm fishing. Again, I'll explain where I'm fishing a bit later in the blog. Middle rod is going to go up to the channel. What I did when I finished leading around with the right hand rod, I just cast it over to the channel where I want to fish with the middle rod. And by chance, to fish the middle of the channel is exactly the same distance, 13 wraps and 8 foot. And then just to my left here, really close in, there's an absolutely gorgeous little lily bed, and I'm going to put a rod on that. Now I found a spot the other side of the lily bed that's nice and clear. Lead goes down with a proper thud, but I can't get to it from this angle because I'd have to go over the lily bed. So just to my right, about 20 foot to my right, is a jetty. So went up onto that jetty, and from that jetty I can get the perfect angle to fish to the other side of the lily bed, which yeah, is a 6 wraps and 8 foot, I think it was, if I remember rightly. So yes, I can get the right angle from that jetty, because the jetty sticks out about, I don't know, maybe about 15 foot into the lake. So I can get a nice angle to the other side of that lily bed. Before I put the rods out, I'm going to go around to the edges. I've got a bucket of pellet with me, a bucket of boilies, and I'm going to just chuck a bit of bait in by hand, and then we'll get the rods out. Absolutely roasting. I'm absolutely melting. There's not much shade where I'm fishing, so I'm absolutely melting at the moment. Right, let's go and chuck a bit of bait in, and then we'll get the rods out. Right then guys, just about through the marginal reeds and flora and fauna, you can just about see the lily bed that I'm going to cast to on the left hand rod. So, got some Nuts 365 boilies here. Just gonna there we go, just put a few of the Nuts 365, and then got a mixed size bucket of pellet with me as well, so we'll just put a bit of pellet on that spot as well. Awesome. Right, I'm going to go around onto the island, chuck a bit of bait in from the island as well, do the same thing. I'm not going to take the camera with me, I'm just going to quickly do that. In fact, I'll spin the camera around quickly, guys, and then from here you can so there you go. There's my swim, guys, and there's a jetty I can cast to get down to these lilies down here. There we go, guys, first rod out. Right guys, second rod going to go out, which would be the middle rod, and this is the rod that's going to be sort of aiming middle of the channel. So there's a stone on the far bank which I'm going to aim at, which I can see in daylight, but then if I got to redo that one at night, then there's a convenient little gap in the trees at more or less the same point I can aim for if I have to do the cast at night. So yeah, so as I said earlier on, this is 13 wraps and 8 foot. Donk, lovely jubbly. Right guys, so third and final rod, obviously now the right hand rod, which will be over to the far bank. There's a post over there on the far bank. I'm not sure if it's to note anything in particular or whether it's what Bob has put in to pinpoint marks that he fishes to, but yeah, that's where I've just been round and baited up and found a nice clear spot with a bare lead earlier on, so that's where this rod is going. And as I said earlier on, 13 wraps and 8 foot. Entirely happy with that cast. We hit the clip but just as the lead was hitting the water, so I don't feel, I think that would probably have been alright to be fair, but and we're definitely going to do that one again because I felt a bird's nest of line go out, so I've obviously got a bit of line twist in my line somewhere. Oh, and sure enough, a lovely bird's nest to deal with. Right, probably the chances of me picking this out are probably 0. So I'll have a go, and if I can't, I'll have to cut it off and start again. Right guys, all 3 rods are now out. and by some miracle, believe it or not, I actually managed to unpick that bird's nest. So I didn't show the cast going out because once I unpicked the bird's nest and got all the line back on the reel, I thought, well, I'll do a test cast first just to make sure it doesn't happen again. And it didn't, and it landed exactly where I wanted it by that post. So I just left it. I thought, well, no point redoing it again just for the point of getting it on the camera. So yeah, so I think that is that was the first monoline bird's nest I've ever managed to unpick. So right, we are fishing. Just got the camp to set up now. I'm going to chill in this little bit of shade I've got behind me first to begin with, because it is absolutely roasting. And yeah, definitely I'm going to chill before I get the camp fully sorted out. Right then guys, so now the sun is going down a bit, and I've got the camp set up just in shot, but I thought I'd explain what I meant in the intro by a privilege session, even though I'm at my Syndicate. And there's what I've filmed so far has probably been a couple of clues along the way, and if this background doesn't give you a big clue, it's because I'm fishing in Bob's garden. So an area that's normally out of bounds for obvious reasons. It's Bob's back garden. But yeah, so how did I get to fish a session in Bob's back garden? Well, my last session at the islands, which most of you would have probably seen by now, I took me drone there, done some drone shots if you've seen the blog. Also on my social medias I put a load of drone photos of the complex up. Bob had seen the photos, thought, oh, that's some nice shots of a fishing complex from the air. So Bob said, would you mind bringing the drone down to Aspen and getting some drone shots of the lake here? At the time it was the fish was spawning, so the lake had been shut for 2 weeks. So I said, yeah, because normally Bob's got a no drone rule here, like for fishing and blogging, what have you. But he said, you know, while the lake's shut and no other anglers are on, he said, would you mind coming down, doing some aerial shots of the lake with my drone? And I said, yeah, don't mind doing that at all, just because I like flying my drone anyway. And yeah, and in return I'm fishing here as a thank you in his garden. So like I said, normally an area that's completely out of bounds, apart from Bob himself, and the bailiffs do get to fish in here as you know, part of their perk for bailiffing. But apart from that, no one else gets to fish here. And yeah, at the moment I'm the only one here. You might just be able to see, if I swing the camera around a little bit, so you can probably see Bob's bivvies in the background there. But unfortunately, due to his ill health, he can't actually fish at the moment. So I've basically kind of got a lake to myself. This part of the lake, which is out of bounds, is I'll probably say maybe 3 acres at a guess. Yeah, there's maybe 3 acres of water in this part of the lake. So yeah, and apart from bits I can't actually get to, which off to the right round the corner, it's all mine. No one else is here. So when I had a walk up and down the bank, I didn't really want to fish in amongst Bob's bit where he normally fishes from when he can, because I didn't really want to look like it was like Bivvy City. So I've picked this swim, which is on the furthest left of the lake, and as we've seen already, we've got some nice lily beds, we've got a nice far bank margin to fish to, and one of the main reasons why I picked this swim, it's the first swim that's the other side of the bridge. So those regular viewers who would have seen me fishing in the bench swim, where you've got the bridge, and I've always said, you know, as the fish come in and out of Bob's garden, the bench is the first swim over that side of the bridge that picks the fish up. Well, flip it round, this is the first swim that picks the fish up if they're coming back this way, or even if they're up that end of the lake and heading out. So that's why I've picked this swim and the areas that I'm fishing to that I've already showed you. So yeah, bit of waffle, but you know, just thought I'd go through why we're fishing here. It's probably only going to be a one-off, so I need to capitalise on it and hopefully get a chunk out or two. So we've got 3 nights ahead of us, so yeah, fingers crossed I can capitalise on this opportunity I've been given and hopefully get a chunk. Right guys, the time now is 20 past 9. The sun has literally just dropped below the tree line horizon off to my left here. Left as I look at the lake. But yeah, all quiet so far. I have had a couple of liners so far. I've had one liner on my left hand rod that's on the lilies, and a liner on the right hand rod that's by the white post on the far bank over there. I've seen a couple of fish bosh out in mid water as well, so signs are looking good that there's fish in my, and as I say that, I've just seen another fish bosh way off to the right, which I can't really get to because I've got the jetty between me and where I've just seen that, but yeah, but I'm not gonna, I haven't touched the rods anymore since they went out, and I won't unless any fish comes along or morning comes where it's time to redo the rods tomorrow sometime. But yeah, lake's looking good. It's a really pretty swim. Obviously still blue skies even though it's 20 past 9. Now the wind's dropped off, the lake is all nice and flat calm. So yeah, just thought I'd do an evening update before I put the camera away, because now the sun is dropping, it won't be long before the night condensation starts coming along, and I'll put the camera away for the night so it doesn't get ruined with condensation. But yeah, just going to chill for the evening now guys. I don't know how busy the rest of the lake is. Obviously from where I am I can see 2 guys over on the mystery pool to my right. And when I walked around earlier on I could see 1 guy in the bench swim, but apart from that I've got no idea how many people's on the rest of the lake. Right, like I said, I'm going to put the camera away now guys. Hopefully I can get it out again in the night. Right guys, 2:30 in the morning. The first night of fishing, obviously. And we have one. Right hand rod. The rod that gave me the trouble of with birds nesting. Now I'm going to have the Pro Poly handy because this one has got a nasty wound on this side. We're going to have to treat before she goes back. There we go then, guys. 22.5 pound of Aspen fish. Lovely jubbly. So yeah, my reward for doing those drone photos for Bob and giving the privilege of fishing his back garden has paid off. Absolutely awesome. First fish I've caught from Aspen in, well, I can't even remember how long, because there's my little break I had to have from fishing because of my bad back. I'll say we'll have a look at this side now and you'll see I'm not sure if it's a sore or if it's a spawning mark. As I said in the intro, it was only recently, a few weeks ago, the place was shut for spawning, so possibly a spawning mark, but it looks a bit big for a spawning mark, so possibly a sore. But you'll see what I mean in a second. But there you go. Right. And then, like I said, got the old propolis here, so we'll get a fair bit on that. Good morning, guys, and that's a good way to start the first night, getting the blank out of the way. Not the biggest fish in the lake, certainly not the prettiest fish in the lake. I'm sure, as you've seen in the footage last night, where it had like by that saw, it had like a sort of a broken rib kind of lump on that side, and I'm sure that's a fish I've had before a few years ago. Maybe not, I can't really remember, but I certainly had one with a kind of that lumpy protrusion before. So yeah, that's a good way to build on the session. Like I say, it's certainly not the biggest. In fact, as fish go in this lake, it's probably at the smaller end of the scale. So yeah, that's now I know the fish are coming out over a bit of bait. We saw yesterday how much bait I was putting in over the spots. So when we redo the rods today, we will use the bait boat today and probably put a little bit more bait in. So but yeah, that's going to be later. First things first is breakfast, because my belly is growling like a thing that's growling a lot. So yeah, have breakfast and then probably just sit around enjoying this lovely sunny day we got until the time comes where nature forces me to wind in to go and use the facilities. And then yeah, so we'll definitely be sticking with that spot on the far bank that's got the white post on it. And if I do abandon any of the other spots, which will if I do, it will most likely be the lily pad spot, believe it or not, although that's a nice feature. But within my range, about, I don't know, 5 rod lengths to the right of that white post, there's another white post sort of almost opposite the jetty to my right. So which are, you know, are obviously from what I understand now, are Bob's markers that he puts in, that he fishes to. So but anyway, yeah, let's crack on, get breakfast, because as soon as this growling stops I will feel a lot better. Alright, catch up with you in a bit, guys. Right then guys, so all quiet so far this morning. It's 11:30, so we're way past what I'd consider to be bite time on here. Really warm day, sun's high in the sky now, so as it's approaching midday now, what I'm going to do is wind the rods in, go and visit the facilities, probably have a bit of a walk around the lake just to get me daily steps up, and then, you know, want to get back probably in a couple of hours time. I'll put the rods out with the boat as I said I was going to. Obviously refresh the rigs with fresh hook baits. So yeah, that's the plan. Like I say, just wind in now and basically rest the swim while it's kind of hot, sunny and sort of out of bite time. So yeah, hey, I'll see you when I'm back. Oh, right guys, so we are back in my swim. I'm looking even more redder because it is absolutely red hot out there. But yeah, we're just getting the rigs baited up, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to show you how I caught that fish last night and, well, how I'm going to continue to fish this session. So I'm fishing Ronnie rig. It's got a size 6 curved shank hook. It's on a Gemini boom, and what I've done with the Gemini boom is I've cut off the original swivel and then reattached one of the ESP Ronnie clips on, so it makes changing rigs very quick and easy. See this like sleeve here, that's a tungsten sleeve, which obviously which helps sink the bait, but then it makes changing the hook link part really quickly if you need to because of blunt hooks, etc. So this tungsten bar is, like I say, is a sleeve, and to change your hook all you got to do is slide the sleeve back, unclip the hook link part from the quick clip, reattach a new hook link, slide the sleeve back over the quick clip, and then you're ready to go with a fresh hook if need be. Like I say, and then anti-tangle sleeve which attaches to the lead system, and then nothing special up this end, just a bog standard lead clip system to the rigmarole tubing. So nothing too complicated there. So, and then the way I mount the bait to the hook link is with floss. A lot of people seem to use bait screw these days, which I don't like, because me personally, I think if the bait comes off the rig, you're left with an extra kind of piece of metal or plastic with a point and basically a drill on it flailing around inside the fish's mouth. And if a bait comes off a floss, you've got nothing there apart from a micro swivel. Obviously melt the floss down, blob it off, and there we go. Another rig good to go. So I've got one more and then I can start getting the rigs back out. Not sure if I'm keen on getting the rigs back out just yet because I don't like the heat and it's absolutely melting out there. Oh, a few planes flying around from RAF Fairford. So yeah, what's that? that's how I caught the fish last night. And then obviously, as we saw, I chucked in some freebie boilies and pellets over the top. And on one rod, when these go back out, because I'm using the bait boat, I'm going to make one small change on one of the rods, but we'll come to that as they're going out. Right, so that's all the rigs baited up. Quick refreshing cold drink. Oh, I'm back out into that scorching sun. Right then guys, so first boat load and rig is just about to go out. So the rig's already in the boat. In this boat I've put a handful of boilies in and then a handful of mixed pellet in. So this is going to be the right hand rod that's going to go to the white post where obviously I caught from last night. Again, once these rods are out, that's going to be it for the night as well. We are now at just coming up to 2 o'clock, so yeah, once these rods are out, they'll be out for the night now, unless anything. Right, we are right in front of that white post now. That's it, bombs away. Right guys, second rod is about to go out, rig's already in the boat, but so this is where I said before I'm going to have a slight change on one of the rods, and this is it. So so in the van I had a load of jars of particle, different type particle, hemp, maize, can't remember what the other particle was, some sort of seed bait. In total I had like 5 jars of particle, so I had a big bucket in my van. I've poured them all into one big bucket, mixed them all up, come up with the concoction that I've got now. So just basically a sort of a particle spod mix, and then I decanted some of that into a smaller bucket which I've brought round to me swim. So I'm going to put a big old scoop of it. I ain't going to be shy with it. I'm going to put a big old scoop of it in the boat. And then some I bought up the shops recently because probably a couple of months ago now, but Bob had a good session where he caught quite a few fish by adding a little ingredient to his bait loads of boat, and that is just simply hot chili sauce. I think a lot of us use it all in our carp fishing anyway. Some I don't really use a lot of myself, to be fair, but hey ho, let's put a good old dousing of the chili sauce on top of that. One for me. I can confirm it is hot chili sauce. Whew. Whew, yeah. And then this, guys, is going to be my middle rod that's going to go up towards the channel, and hopefully so I can drive the boat in a straight line. There we go. Yeah, so hopefully if there's any fish coming from under the bridge or heading that way towards the bench swim, then this is the rod that I'll be slap bang in the middle of the channel, as I explained yesterday, and hopefully pick them up. And again, as I said, there's a stone out on the far bank over there which I'm going to aim for. And then once I think we're in about the middle of the channel, maybe, yeah, about there I reckon. And bombs away. The old boat come back up out the water a lot then as it dropped its payload there. Right, so that's 2 rods out, guys. Right, let's get it on the bite alarm, back lead on, and then just to save a bit of time and try and keep me blog shorter, which never happens, the 3rd rod, that's going to go back by the lilies, and we'll go back to the boilies and pellet on that one. But I'll do that off the camera just to keep the blogger a little bit shorter. Right guys, just a quick update. It's 8 o'clock and obviously nothing has happened since the rods was redone earlier on. Not any liners or anything, been completely quiet so far. Just lit me cob just behind the camera, so I'm just waiting for the smoke to go out on the old cob coal, and then as soon as that goes out I can get the lid on and have a pizza for me tea. Yeah, I thought I'd do a quick update and then put the camera away for the night. But yeah, there's not really much to update you with, to be fair. Like I say, it's been quiet today. It's been another really warm day, so whether that's got anything to do with it. But yeah, no liners, nothing. Obviously, as I said earlier on, the rods ain't being touched unless anything comes along. It's not really a water where you keep recasting, keep redoing your rods. It's a bait and weight type water. Right, anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. The smoke's just gone out on my cob now, so I need to get the lid on so it'll heat up and I can have my pizza for tea. So unless any action happens in the night, I'll see you in the morning. But fingers crossed, there is action in the night. Good morning, everyone. It's just gone 8 o'clock and I've just got at me pit. Obviously no fish in the night last night. I did get woken up at 6:30 this morning with a little liner on my left hand rod, the one that's over by the lilies, which made me kind of wake up and sit up thinking something was going to happen. Obviously it didn't. If that hadn't woken me up, then I just would have been woken up by the distant roar of one of the U-2 spy planes just taking off from RAF Fairford in the distance. Anyway, today's another day. Oh, B-52 bomber. Now that is a plane. I wonder if I can quickly zoom in on that one. to the fishing. There'll probably be another one go out in a minute. They often go out in pairs, them things. Yeah, obviously the American Air Force are very busy today. Hopefully the fishing will be just as busy today as well. But yeah, the wind has just slightly died off, but the wind has done a change of direction sort of in the night or this morning, but it's in our face today. And sure enough, there's another B-52 bomber just going. Absolutely awesome planes, them things. But yeah. Wow. They are just so awesome. Absolutely amazing to think they've been flying since the 1950s, them things. Going to carry on flying into the 2050s. Anyway, right, not getting distracted by the free air show. Obviously we'll leave the rods out today until something needs to happen, whether that's a change of bait, change of place, or a trip to the facilities. Yeah, but just sit and watch what happens, see if there's any clues from the fish of what to do. Like I just said, there's a change in direction from the wind. Whether that'll bring more fish this direction, who knows. But yeah. We might have a change up of tactics as well today, or change of positions on one rod, possibly. I did say to myself, if nothing happens on the same night, what I might do is change from the lily pad, and I think I've already said it in the blog, there's a couple more white posts on the far bank which are Bob's fishing markers. Well, the only other one I can reach from here really is the next one along the bank, so I might have a change of position when I redo the rods, so possibly abandon the lily spot, make that white post me right hand rod, the white post I'm currently fishing on, make it me middle rod, and then my left rod I'll keep fishing up the channel. That's unless in the meantime the left hand rod goes ripping off and it makes me carry on fishing there. Right, that's enough waffle for this morning. I've got to have some breakfast. By the looks of it, change a battery in the camcorder. Right, I'll get back to you when something more exciting than me waffling is happening. Bugger, I see what it is now. Got picked up by a bloody black chicken, didn't I? let's just test if the bait is buoyant and just flick it back out there. Oh, no, that needs a fresh up bait on there. So in the last bit of footage as well, you would have seen me pick up the rod on the left hand rod. It was a take, unfortunately. Lost it. Obviously fishing to those lily pads over there, and the fish went straight into the lily pads. Completely locked up. So I did the usual thing of putting the rod down on the back on the bank sticks. Left it for about an hour. Completely slack line, but nothing happened. So I got a feeling I got done. When I picked the rod up again after an hour, there was absolutely no feeling of a fish there whatsoever. So unfortunately I had to pull for a break on that one. So it's a good sign that there's fish in the area, and the rod is back out there now. I had to completely re-rig, but because the fish has took me into them lily pads and have been done, it makes me extra dubious about whether to leave it there tonight when I redo the rods later. Obviously now being awake I can get on the rods. Well, I say that even though I still wasn't quick enough earlier on. So yeah, so those changes I mentioned earlier on about going channel, white post, that's probably seeming more and more likely for this afternoon and going into tonight. Right guys, as you can see, the rods are wound in at the moment. They had to come in for cooler nature, so I haven't put them out straight away. Rest to swim for an hour or so, and in the meantime just made a cracking bacon butty. So once I've finished this, I'll get the rigs rebaited up, get the rods back out, and as I said earlier on, I think I've made up my mind. Although I have had a take from that spot by the lilies, because this is going to be when the rods go out, going out for the night. I don't want to risk having a take and then losing another fish into the lilies again. So yeah, I've made up my mind. Left hand rod will now be the channel, middle rod that white post where I caught the fish from, and then we'll start a new spot, the next white post along the bank, and then that would be my right hand rod, obviously. Right guys, so we're ready to get the rod back out. The rig is already in the boat, so this is going to be the right hand rod that's going to go on the new spot. As I said, the white marker in the middle of the lake in front of the jetty. So this rod can have a little mix of everything in the boat, seeing it's going to be a new spot. So handful of pellet, scoop of that particle mix, and then say about half a handful of boilies as well. Obviously this is going to be a new spot for me, that's why we're going to do a bit of a concoction on that rod. Oh, that's what I'm looking for, the old chili sauce, the old sriracha. So the reason why I say that's going to have a concoction, because that's a new spot, because the other two spots are already having bait gone on them. I'm not going to put any boilies on those two rods. I'm just going to do the pellets, because obviously they give off attraction and then break down eventually, and some of the that particle spod mix. So obviously that's just little bits and pieces, and that would get him grubbing around. So right, anyway, let's waffle. Let's get this rod out so we can get fishing again. And we'll aim for about 3 foot off of the bank, so that we're in the deep water off of the step that's over there. All the ducks following the bait boat thinking they're going to get a free feed. Up to what looks about like 2 or 3 foot from this angle. Lovely. Right guys, that is the first rod sorted for going into this last sort of 24 hours of fishing. I'm not going to film the other 2 rods, like I said, I've explained how I'm going to bait up, but again, in an effort to keep the vlog shorter, we won't film those 2. I'll just crack on and get it done. Right, let's get this rod on the alarm, and then next time you see me, hopefully it's with a fish. Well, that was a bit of an anticlimax. I'm pretty sure, well, not sure, I know I got done then. Got done in the weed because the rod tip was bent right round. Oh guys, just got that rod back out, but yeah, really don't know what happened there. It was the rod, that right hand rod tip was absolutely bent round like it was a quiver tip. Picked it up, felt the fish on. I thought, here we go, playing a fish off of the new spot, lovely jovely. And then just about halfway in I thought, oh, this feels a bit light. I thought, oh mate, it's just swimming towards me. This is making it easy. And then lifted the rod up, and as you saw, just a load of weed. Thought, somehow on the way in he's done me. Ain't got a clue what happened there. But yeah, got the rod straight back out. I recast it from the jetty. We just took the rig off. I actually put a fresh hook bait on as well, just so it will be a bit fresher for longer lasting. And yeah, just cast out a bare lead to get the range, which is a nice easy 11 wraps exactly to that white post from the end of the jetty. So put the rig back on, flung it back out there. Getting a free air show at the moment. So that rod's back out on the money. I wasn't going to do it with a boat. There was no need to redo it with the boat. Yeah, back out on the money. Sorry, this is a bit jumpy at the moment. I had the camera in my hand and I just rested it on top of my bivvy. And obviously being a bit windy, it's blowing the bivvy about. So. Right, anyway, hopefully I'll get another opportunity off of that spot. I'm going to pick the camera up because it's not making for very good footage bouncing around. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get another opportunity off of that spot. As yeah, like I said, that rod was bent round like it was like I was quiver tip fishing. So yeah, not sure exactly what happened there. But anyway, dinner's on the go, got the cob on, got a jacket potato for me tea tonight. But yeah, the fish are certainly beating me up. That's one to me and 2 losses. One to the lilies, and yeah, no idea what happened there, but perhaps it just wasn't a clean hook hold and it just fell off. Hopefully guys, there'll be at least one more crack of the whip, because in about the last sort of half hour, 45 minutes or so, there's been a bit more activity showing out on the lake. Yesterday there was virtually nothing showing, and up to, like I say, at least 45 minutes ago, not a lot was showing. But I think finally, I think they must have moved on the wind, because yeah, like I say, in about the last half hour, 45 minutes, a few fish have started showing, mainly kind of towards the back where the kind of the wind line is, where it goes from ripply to calm. So they're right in the middle of right hand rod and middle rod. There was a fish just washed out now. Yeah, right in the middle of my right hand rod and middle rod, a fish washed out right on the wind lines, or twice. So I was almost contemplated to wind in the left hand rod. That's shown no action so far, even though I know it's in a good space, to sort of cast it out and put it in the middle there. I haven't, because I'm still confident that leaving it up the sort of mouth of the channel is still a good spot to have the rod. But yeah, I think finally the fish has moved on the wind, and a few have got down here. fingers crossed for at least a chance of one more fish. After losing a fish in the lilies this morning and losing that other one about an hour ago, it does make you feel a bit defeated. I know obviously I've had one, but when you've been given 2 more chances, for it to have possibly been 3 by now, yeah, you do feel like, what's going on? Like I said, still getting a free air show. The old RAF Voyager plane and the old Atlas A400, they were doing circles chasing each other for quite a while. The old Atlas did one last flyby 15 minutes ago, really low, and he hasn't come back, but the Voyager's still doing circles. I've lost count now how many times he's flown around. But anyway, yeah, so I'm feeling a bit confident there's going to be at least one more chance for another fish yet. Right, good morning people. As you can see, lent on my bivvy or my rods. Oh, and that's because we had to have a rather urgent wind into the facilities. I had a jacket potato cooked on the cob last night with a whole can of baked beans and cheese on top as well. And yeah, let's just say that went through me like a whole can of beans. So yeah, obviously I had to wind in my rods. Today is pack up day. It's not even 8 o'clock yet, 7:30ish. And I'm planning on being off the lakes or no later than lunchtime. Obviously nothing happened last night. So obviously I'm going to put the rods back out for a few hours, and also obviously while the rods are in, it makes sense just to whack on some fresh hook baits quickly and make sure they're all nice and buoyant, etc, etc. So yeah, so I'm going to get these rods done quickly just so I can, you know, because this is kind of bite time guys, so don't want to hang around. So I'm going to get these rods back out, and then hopefully when they're back out I'll have about 4 hours of fishing time. So yeah, I want to get them back out now while it's still bite time, and yeah, just going to get on with it. Right then guys, it's kind of last chance saloon now. We are virtually packed up. Everything bar the rods on the ground there for the one last chance is all packed away. Once the rods have come in, that'll be it, game over. So just gone 11 o'clock, so I said I wanted to be off by midday, so it looks like that will be so. So yeah, it's been a okay session. I've had 3 hookups. Unfortunately lost 2 of them, but we landed 1, so it wasn't a blank, which is the main thing. So yeah, any session here which isn't a blank is a success, because you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's not an easy lake. There's only 100 carp stocked in this water, and bearing in mind I only had one side of the lake to fish, so you never know, the majority of fish could be that side, other end, you just don't know here. So to have 3 bites and landed one, I'm going to consider that a success. It would have been nice if I could have landed those other 2, but hey ho, that's fishing. Right, so I'm going to crack on, get the rest of the pack up done, get home. I'd like to thank Bob and Mary for letting me fish their back garden, which is otherwise out of bounds. So that's it, game over, and unless anything happens in the last few minutes while in the time it takes me to pack them up, then that's it. At the moment, no plans for where I'm going to be next, so wherever that will be, till then, tight lines.